coming to you on this. Do you like, love, or hate Nico's presser?
I hate it. First of all, what the hell is that about? No cameras? No tape recorders?
They did allow tape recorders after they got in the room, just for clarity.
So they allowed it when they got in the room?
They negotiated at the end, just
negotiated at the end.
You can win negotiations with Nico Harrison, apparently.
I'm just saying, you walk into, you got a press conference, good line, Wendy, good line. But you're having a conference with the media, and they have to negotiate to have tape recorders in. I mean, that just shows you how paranoia has kicked in. Here's the bottom line. We'll see how well this trade works. If everybody was on the floor, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Gafford, Lively, and these cats, of course, I think they're right in the mix and they're potentially competing for a championship. I'm not going to dismiss that. I think Nico is right when he says that. But the point is, knowing that's not the case, knowing that they were they were chanting to fire you, okay, knowing how Luka looked when he came into your house, okay, how anemic Anthony Davis looked while Luka was dropping 45 on that basketball court in Dallas, it might behoove you not to talk at all. Just let the whole damn season end, because there's nothing that you can do to explain it, because as you highlighted, the real malpractice of all of this isn't even about just Luka being gone. It's about the fact that you didn't get a first-round pick in return. Now, we're looking at the New York Knicks, and we're wondering about their future because the Nets got 4 unprotected first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, okay, and 5 overall, but 4 unprotected.
Right.
So I'm like, wait a minute, you couldn't get one? You didn't get Austin Reeves, like you pointed out. So you got Max Christie instead of Austin Reeves. You didn't get, you didn't give up, really anything. And but you gave up Luka and you didn't get anything in return other than really Anthony Davis? That's what people are looking at. And when that happens, you don't have a press conference right now to talk about it. You just don't. You shut up and you go home. That's what you do. Do your exit interviews when the season's over.
100%, Steve. Manufactured press conferences only work in small, rinky-dink towns, and Dallas isn't that. That's a horrendous job. You're trying to control the message. Come on. I mean, listen, he made a horrific trade, but he didn't make the trade. The owners made the trade. They didn't want to pay him $312 million, and so in the summer with the extension. So as a result, he's got to do the bidding for the owner, and he's got to try to convince you that, defense wins championships. For crying out loud, how do you make a comment like that when Luka last year took you to the NBA Final, for crying out loud, against the Celtics, and he played great? So that's absurd to make a comment like that. He's making it worse by trying to justify the trade. As you said, he shouldn't say anything at all. He shouldn't basically tell the media what they can and cannot do as far as the press conference is concerned. Monitor questions. It's ridiculous. Bottom line is this. The owner said, you know what, I don't want him on the team. I'm not paying him $312 million. He's not in shape. Whatever the reasons, get him out of here, Nico. Figure it out. Get him out. Whatever you have to do, get him out of here. And Nico's got to be the fall guy. I mean, that's what happened. So the owner takes the hit more than Nico, but Nico's getting paid a fortune. So he's got to be the guinea pig, and and then he makes it worse by A, making a bad trade. Excellent point, Austin Reeves. And number 2, well, let's do a press conference to finally clear the air, but we're going to do it our way. No cameras, as you just said. Well, let only the local media, come on, ask the questions, and we'll also figure out what questions you can ask. Dallas comes across here as a very shaky and a small-time organization, and this is Dallas, Texas. That's a joke. Down on it.
A couple things. First off, I'll tell you why I did the press conference, Stephen A. Our Tim McMahon, who's all over this story, reported he was asked to do the press conference by the owner. And I suspect, this I don't know, I suspect the reason he didn't want cameras there was because he knew he was going to say he had no regrets. And he didn't necessarily want that on film forevermore. But I don't know that, but I speculate that. What has happened here is kind of fascinating, if you can take a step back. The Dallas Mavericks have been dealt a horrible piece of misfortune in Kyrie Irving tearing his ACL. That would engender sympathy from everybody. Every team in this league, if their star point guard, whatever their plan is, whether it was the most beautiful plan in the history of the sport, if your star point guard tore his ACL, especially a guy who had earned the admiration of people with the way he had played the last 2 years and the way he was a leader, Kyrie Irving, that would get you sympathy. That would buy you time. That would buy you an understanding that this is not going to be on. Zero. There's none of it for the Mavericks. The truth is, even if they didn't trade Luka, even if they had done all this stuff, they would be in some level of trouble here because of this Kyrie Irving injury. But what yesterday illustrated was that they got credit for nothing, the fact that they've had this devastating injury come out. And the other thing is, some of the stuff that he said in this was just downright befuddling. For example, he said that we showed that we could be I don't think exactly how he said it, but he said we showed what kind of team we could be for the 2.5 quarters that Anthony Davis played.
Wow.
2.5 quarters?
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
that makes no sense.
He should have turned the microphones off for that.
Exactly.
You should have said.
The other thing is that I'm glad you reminded us, or you informed us, that ownership made him do that. Because, again, he has to go out front, and he has to put a positive spin because he's trying to sell the future of the franchise.
I say, sorry to cut you off. I got to hit the top of the hour here, guys. Wendy, great job on that one, by the way. Coming up, Steph Curry versus Jalen Green in the first round. Should the Warriors actually be favored versus Houston? Not everyone here thinks so. Projected first-round pick Travis Hunter has a bold take about playing both sides of the ball in the NFL. Lewis can't wait to dive into this one. We'll be right back.